Hey, how's it going everyone? Man, I am so excited. This is Frieza third form. I couldn't believe we're actually getting this figure in the first place. The fact that we're getting all the Frieza forms, we're just waiting for a reveal for, I guess the only one left is full power. Whether or not we get, who knows. I mean, we do have full form already. 3 of these guys actually. All the same figures, just slightly different colours and accessories, but it would be cool to get a full power one to go in with them. Because we have Mecha Frieza coming at the start of next year, which would be cool. But anyway, back to what we have now. This is Frieza third form. Actually came out first in America, and one of the few times where a early release hits there opposed to Japan. So there's been lots of photos that's floating around already, but it has just come out here in Japan today. Premium Bandai, so we do have a Tamashi Web logo down there, and then on the back a cool selection of images showcasing the figure itself and the accessories. I'm digging this key blast effect as well, so we'll get a closer look at that a little bit later in the video. But for now, we'll pop it out of the box and we'll check out the accessories that it does come with. Okay, so we've got Frieza in the middle here, and like the other Frieza releases, he does come with a second head. Now the second head is designed for the 2 smiling faces. Due to the bigger smiling, the curvature around the eyes is slightly different, so you can use this head with the additional faceplates for a better matching look. So as I was mentioning, he does have 2 faceplates. The one was a kind of creepy grin, and the mouth open shouting one. Below that we have his tail and the 2 horns which attach to the back of Frieza, along with the, the 6-star Dragon Ball, which is cool. Does have folded arms, the extra headpiece as we mentioned earlier, and then we have a couple of sets of hands. We've got the 2-finger one for the blast attack, then the fingers spread, and then more of a, the normal gripping ones that we get with most releases. Now the effect is really cool. Maybe a little bit hard to set, but you can actually see through it, which is nice. It looks like it's hollow, and that one there has a indentation for the 2 fingers, so you can just slot it on there like he's about to, do a blast, which is really cool. It definitely looks really nice. I hope we get more effects like this going forward in the future. So yeah, he does actually come with quite a bit for a big figure, but it is Premium Bandai after all. Very similar to that of the second form Frieza, due to extra tail and Dragon Ball and other parts. But anyway, let's pop him out. We'll chuck the horn and tail on him, and then we can boom on the turntable and get a look at the overall finish. Okay, so we've got Frieza on the turntable here, and look, he just looks so nice. Very similar to second form Frieza with the colouring for the chest and armour, as well as the purple and the flesh tones. Even, the brown on the armour, everything there is very reminiscent of second form Frieza and first form Frieza as well. So we'll get a bit of a family shot later in the video, but the colouring for these match up beautifully together, which is great. I hope we get a new 4th form as well to match them with the same colouring. I don't have the original one. I am very tempted to pick it up though, so maybe it's on the matches, I'm not too sure. But the second one itself is a little bit more of a bluish colouring, and then the newer one again is subtly different. So it'd be pretty cool to get one that matches the same white or greyish colouring on him. So yeah, but for detailing, again, very similar to the other figures with the lines and the texture throughout the arms and legs. The tail itself as well attaches on with 1 joint there. Then we have a second one down, and it has the cut tip on it as well. The spikes here, these join on easily. They are labelled left and right. And it has a L shape, so it's really easy to put on. Just basically match it up and it will just slot right in, which is great. So yeah, the head, I mean, I feel the proportions are nice. I think the scaling is good as well. Everyone refers to that one image from the manga, which isn't even an image designed to show scaling, doesn't have size, anything like that. It's just a badass looking photo of all the poses. Yet everyone takes it for gospel, as that is how the sizing should be. If you look at the anime, the third one Frieza is smaller than the second one, even in promotional materials and all that. So anything, the manga scaling never really lines up with anime. Yeah, for the most part they do stick to it, but there are changes here and there. Often, especially cover pages or promotional art posters and that, you know, they're drawn to look badass. You know, if it looks small in the image, then maybe it doesn't look good enough, so they'll draw it bigger to make it look more, you know, dominating in the image. So taking the manga pictures and those promotional pictures as, you know, how things should be, I don't think it's the right way. I think it's definitely something that the community gets wrong. Now, the figures themselves, these are based on the anime. In the past, maybe they took more elements from the manga, but these are from the anime. And you know, I feel like in the series, from the limited time when we see this figure, you know, the sizing does line up well with the other figures in this line. If you disagree, all good. If you agree, awesome. Drop a comment below as well on which way you think. But personally, scaling, at least this figure is looking great. So yeah, for those that have issues with that, oh well, just don't buy it. But anyway, coming back to the figure itself, let's pop him off the turntable and we can take a look at the articulation. So starting with the head here, he actually has some really good articulation going down and back, though obviously it will kind of hit on the neck eventually. But the head will move on the neck as well as on the actual peg, so you do have a couple of options there. Again, we have nice tilt action, left and right is good as well. So everything on this one does feel really nice and smooth. And surprisingly, a great range of articulation, a lot more than what I was expecting in that head area. The shoulder guards are similar to that of the second form Frieza, so they do move up. And then the shoulder and you know, the inner butterfly joint are really good. He can get some, you know, decent range of motion coming out and around, and he can easily cross over those front arms. So again, everything so far has been really surprising in terms of articulation. I was a little bit worried, but so far so good. The upper bicep swivel is there, and then the elbow joint, again, can loop around, has a double joint in there, and everything works well together to give you a full range of motion. We have the usual wrist peg, so nothing too surprising there, but you know, again, a decent range of motion. Now coming into the torso area, the purple part will move subtly, again, similar to that of the second form Frieza, and then we have the lower and upper part which work well together to give a decent range, and same with going back, though you do get a decent range of motion in the hips, which will also allow you to do the splits. So again, crazy range of motion, really surprised and really thankful for it. We have the upper thigh swivel, the knee joint again really nice, as well as that ankle joint is good too. And all the joints feel really nice, solid and smooth. Nothing's really tight, nothing's really loose. Everything just feels wonderful to play with actually. It's really nice. I'm really thankful because again I was really hyped for this figure, and so far living or even going beyond my expectations. Now for the tail itself, again I'm pretty sure I had made this comment with the second form one. A little bit disappointing since the joints are a little bit ugly. I would really love to see some of that S.H Monster Arts technology come into the Figuarts line, especially for the figures with chunky tails like Frieza. To have multiple points of articulation would be fantastic, but you know, this one again, like the second form Frieza, when you get in the right pose, it does look pretty good, and you do get nice range. You can swivel around, and you do get decent range on each of those joints. It's just that, you know, sometimes depending on angle, doesn't look too good, but that is the downside with this styling, unfortunately. So moving over to the faceplates, this is the base one on him, which is the mouth open with that smile, which is great. The detailing on the face with the colouring lines, and you can even see the subtle indentation for the teeth as well, which is great. The lovely red pupils work really good as well on this face. Now to change the head itself, we can just pop this off the joint, and it will reveal the inner peg. And then once you get the second head part, you can take the peg and slot in. You do have a bigger and a small size there, so again, super easy to line up. So once you've put the new faceplate on the head, you can line up the peg hole and just slot it on. There we go. So the second faceplate here is the wider mouth open one. Again, a little bit more of a smile and a laugh. Again, really cool. There's something eerily creepy about this version of Frieza. I think it's with he kind of looks like a xenomorph, and then that guy has those crazy maniacal laughter or crazy looks to him, which is awesome. And then speaking of crazy maniacal laughters, this faceplate is awesome. So this is the third one. We've got the teeth closed this time. We have a little bit of red pink colour coming through between the teeth, and their big old cheeks right back with a wide smile. This one is awesome, definitely my favourite of the three. I'm going to be using this for displaying him in with the other Frieza versions. But yeah, definitely drop a comment below which one of these faceplates is your favourite. So that creepy smile works well with those kind of gripping hands. And again, even with his tail off the ground, he can hold himself up really well and maintain a pose even without a stand, which is really nice. I was worried he may be a little bit top heavy, but the way the weight is distributed with that long head, it kind of leans forward a little bit more as well. It actually balances really well. Maybe if I put the towel out at the back, yeah, a little bit more back heavy there, but if you lean that tail forward a bit further, you can definitely get a nice centre of balance, which is great. So I've switched back to the base head and faceplate on here, and I've attached on the hand for the effect, and yeah, it looks really good. Maybe a little bit hard to see, but if you kind of get in close, you can just see the tip of his fingers inside the key blast. This just pops on like so. And if you get a close look at the blast, you can just kind of see how it's translucent, which is really cool. The colouring on this is really nice. So on the spikes and around the edge, definitely more of a vibrant saturated pink, where the centre is ever so subtly pink, which is really nice. Really cool effect. I hope we get some big ones like this. It'd be really cool. So as you probably know by now, I really don't like the folded arms on figures. Always a pain to put on, but I must say the first one Frieza one was a breeze to put on, which is great, and it actually doesn't look too bad. Kind of cool. I'm not sure if I would use it for the display purposes. I'm really partial to that crazy face along with the key blast, but it is nice to have the option to put this on, especially since it is actually easy to attach. So we've got the Frieza family here, starting with the first form, second form, then the new third form, and then obviously Frieza fourth form. So yeah, this one here definitely sticks out, being a little more different due to the colour in the white. Unfortunately, I don't have a box available for the first one Frieza at the moment, or I don't have access to it, I should say. So I can't switch them over to the legs, and your base stands about yay tall from memory. Very similar to the fourth form, so at least this will give a rough idea. When I do get access to all the parts, I will do a nice family shot. Maybe once we get Metal Frieza or Mecha Frieza and King Cold, and you know, get everyone together, that would be really cool. Maybe a full Namek photo with all the Namek releases. Man, definitely need a lot of space for that, but that'd be a badass photo. But yeah, anyway, I think for sizing, between these two look really good. And I know I've seen some people complain about the legs on the third form Frieza here being too small, but personally, in person, I feel it matches up beautifully with his body. I don't see any issue. They don't look too small or anything like that. It definitely looks really nice in my opinion. And one of my favorite releases this year I feel like these two are very similar, but if I had to pick a favorite, third form would definitely take it, mainly because I really love that form. But yeah, let's just jump into the pros and cons with the lineup here. Pro, third form Frieza, we got him. We've got the lineup, the key blast effect, the finish on it. He looks nice. Those faces, that crazy look. I mean, just look at it. That crazy goofy face is awesome. We have the other smiling one there, but more neutral. Then we also have a bit more of a maniacal laughter face as well, which is great. We do also get the other Dragon Ball. I mean, same as all the other ones, the summoned version of the Namek balls, which is great. Nice selection of hands. So yeah, overall accessories, finish, everything's nice. Articulation though, that is where this figure shines. Surprisingly, really good articulation for the arms and legs, and then the midsection is pretty good as well, and the head articulation is great. So definitely nailed it on aesthetic and articulation in my opinion. Scaling, I think it's fine. Maybe it could have been slightly bigger, but you know what? I think it looks good, it looks great with the other figures, and yeah, it is nothing to worry about, or at least definitely not a reason to skip on this release. Yeah, I don't actually have any real cons, to be honest. I think it's just a solid release and a must-have for any Dragon Ball Z fan, or at least Dragon Ball Z S.H Figuarts collector. So yeah, definitely drop a comment below in the comments what you think about this release and all the Frieza releases so far. How would you rank them? I think for me, it would be 1, 2, 3, and then 4. For my both. Oh, actually, maybe I have to take that back. The first one, Frieza with that pod, is just so good. Actually, yeah. If I think about the pod, I think first one Frieza is still in first place, then third form, then second, then the fourth. That's actually a hard choice. I'm not really sure how I could. Yeah. Okay, you guys have to help me out here. What is your favorite for the Frieza releases? Definitely let me know below where the first one Frieza stands. Without the pod, definitely after these two, but that pod really does elevate it a lot. But yeah, when I get the chance, I will be taking some photos of first one Frieza here. If you have any requests or comparisons, or anything you want to check that maybe I haven't covered in this video, definitely let me know and I can get back to you later. So yeah, anyway, again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, cheers!